How else could you find us? Oh my God.
God damn you.
Wouldn't be episode 52 without me fucking around with the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children over the age of 21, welcome to the Hop Nation USA podcast. I am Sam, and you are joining me here today for episode 52. The excitement is just shooting through my veins right now. I can feel it everywhere.
You sure that's not cholesterol?
Yeah, it might be a little cholesterol.
A little get-go sando.
Did have a get-go sandwich just before we started recording, but I mean, it's episode 52. I mean, by my count, that puts us right around a year. Now, are you guys excited that it's been a year?
I'm excited it's been a year.
I said at episode 20 that I wouldn't be excited until we got to episode 52.
Now we're here.
Now we're here. We started at the bottom. Now we're here.
Thanks, Drake.
Is that who said that?
I think so.
We started at the bottom, and now we are slightly above the bottom.
Yes.
We're moving on up.
Yes.
You are. No, I am genuinely excited that we made it an entire year. There's not a lot of podcasts that do that.
No.
So
That is true. So kudos to us. Now, I feel like for you guys, it's truly has been a year. For me, it's been like half a year.
Well, I think for me...
It's been a calendar year for me.
For me, it's been an absolute year. I think Adam missed 1 or 2 episodes.
yes, I missed. I believe it was episode 13. I was
Yeah,
unable
you missed
to
13,
attend.
and then we also had another week where we had an off week.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. That was
Yeah.
technical difficulties.
Right. But yeah. So Adam had a couple off, and then Sam's definitely had a bunch off. But I've done
one or two.
I've done a whole year of podcasting. I've done that.
Wow, that's very impressive, Esteban. And not only have you been podcasting, but you've also been primarily editing the episodes. And
Right.
by primarily, I mean every episode.
I mean, yeah, every episode.
I have edited 0 episodes. I know Adam has edited 0 episodes, and
Yeah.
you know that's just fine with me if you want to keep doing that, because you know this guest spot that I get on here every month or so has been really rewarding for me, right? I mean now we're at a full calendar year. I helped bring the show to life. Now I'm barely on it. I mean I don't even know if the listeners know what to think at this point.
I mean, I feel like if you put together like maybe 5 episodes, you could probably choose any 5 episodes, and one of them will have Sam on it. So they should know who you are.
I would hope so.
I've been on the good ones.
Yeah, you've been on the good ones. You've been on the
Because
interview.
they're all good with me.
You've been on the interview ones. So
Right.
yeah.
And
Some
those
of
are
them.
good ones. Those are some of our favorite episodes.
Yes.
This is only my 3rd episode of 2018.
Wow. 3 months, 3 episodes.
One a month.
Yeah, I'm really kicking out the jams here.
I guess so.
Well, you know what? It is what it is. Such is life, boys. But the fact of the matter is that I'm here tonight, and I'm excited to drink beer with both of you, as I always am.
Good.
And I don't know, the beers tonight are kind of random, but they're kind of great at the same time, right? Because each one of us has chosen a beer that we feel is, I don't know, what do we feel? It's pretty much awesome, right?
I feel...
I picked a beer that I
yeah.
really like.
The way we kind of picked beers tonight was supposed to be a new brew, a new you in a way.
But better?
Right, because this is our year.
Right. Fiscal.
Not-
It's our
yeah,
fiscal
It's
year.
our fiscal year, I guess. This is our year, so now we're bringing out beers that we either enjoy or like haven't had, you know.
But have been looking forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
Something we wanted to showcase. And yeah, so 52 is new brew, new you.
Nice.
So, oh pizza boy, do I have the beer for you guys?
Oh boy.
And I mean, it should come as no surprise to anybody on this podcast, whether you've listened to many of my episodes or not. I mean, you know that I'm pretty much obsessed, let's say, with the
Yeah.
Pizza Boy Brewing from Enola, Pennsylvania, 10 minutes outside of Harrisburg.
Yeah.
And this beer is absolutely perfect for this theme. And although I've had it, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times now, I love that we're doing new brew, new you, because, you know, primarily I'm an IPA guy, as we all know, and I'm not a fan of generic, basic lagers, okay? I think they're boring. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the style, but it's not my cup of tea. It's kind of what Adam thinks when he drinks an IPA. He enjoys it for the style, but he's not gonna seek it out, right?
Right.
But I have found a beer here from Pizza Boy, and it's called the Swingle beer, and it is a pineapple lager, and it's new. And I actually picked up a case of it when I was out at the brewery last week, actually 2 weeks ago, excuse me. And I'm super excited to let you guys try it because I have found a lager now that I actually enjoy. Which is very surprising to me.
Yeah, so while it's not necessarily a beer that's new to you, it's new that you can find a style or a representative of the style that you actually like.
Right, and it's it's a relatively new beer for all of us because they just started brewing it.
Right.
And I recently found it, so I'm excited to let you guys, share in this beer with me.
Well, I'm excited to try it.
All right, pour it up.
And the great thing about it is that I've seen this also distributed in cans to Pittsburgh. So if you really like it, you can go out and get more of it. So while I'm pouring it, I will tell everybody where they can find Swingle beer. So you can find Swingle beer, at least that I know of, the 2 spots that I've seen it. I've seen it at the Whole Foods in the South Hills. And that means you can probably find it at the Whole Foods in the North Hills as well.
Probably.
And I've also found it at Beerport out in Lawrenceville.
So this is called Swingle beer?
Swingle beer. It is a pineapple lager from Pizza Boy, and it has a pineapple grenade on the front of it. It's coming in at 5.6 ABV. I don't know the exact IBUs on this son of a bitch, but I do know that it's not very hoppy, so that's
good.
That's certainly going to fancy Adam's palate.
That's good.
Necessarily shouldn't be, but I just to add to what you're saying where you could find it, I also believe you might be able to find it at JR's.
Okay.
In Rochester. JR seems to have a good amount of Pizza Boy. They also tend to have a lot of Pizza Boy on tap on their crowlers, on their crowler system. Like the last time I was there, they had 3 Pizza Boys on tap.
I mean, Pizza Boy is great for any bar or any brewery because Pizza Boy equals sales. People want this stuff. They seek it out. They go and find it. So if you put Pizza Boy on tap, and in your in your mix and match cooler, people are going to come and find it.
I know at least one person that's going to come find it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this beer that we have in front of us.
Alrighty.
This Swingle beer.
It's cloudy.
It is very cloudy. It definitely kind of reminds me of a pineapple juice. Just on the look.
Yeah, perfect color for pineapple.
May have been what they were going for.
I hope.
Now on the nose, the pineapple shoots right through.
It's definitely got a sugary sweet smell to it.
Yeah, it's almost canned fruit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, I can pick out the pineapple, but it's almost like a candied pineapple.
Right, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like the syrup, like pineapple syrup in the can, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a fantastic nose. This is like opening up a can of Dole fruit, Dole pineapple chunks. But what the hell? Let's go. Let's dive in.
So I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Sam, where I find lagers in general to be kind of a ho-hum style, and like it's hard for them to stand out. Like you have to really screw around with them to make them stand out, and this one really stands out.
Yeah, I think that's what attracted me to it because obviously it's a Pizza Boy. I'm going to try it regardless of the style. But this one, it has a great nose, but it's not overly sweet. It's not complex, but you can taste the pineapple.
Yeah.
Pineapple, it's pronounced, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah, it definitely does have an aftertaste to it though that tastes like kind of like eating Dole out of the can.
So for me, I find this to be a bit of a dichotomy of beer. On the nose, it is obviously very sweet, very pineapple-y. It's very sugary. To me, the taste doesn't compare to what the nose is.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't.
does not.
Yeah.
And I guess I was kind of expecting to kind of go along the lines of like a Rivertown, Halakahiki.
Yeah.
That level of pineapple beer, and I guess that with my expectations being there, it was not. It didn't live up to that, I guess.
Okay.
Because when I think pineapple beer, honestly, there's not very many there in that category. But when I think of that, automatically I go to Rivertown.
Right.
And then I caught the nose on that, which is very good. I really like the nose on this. But it just seemed like the taste didn't match up with either the gold standard in that category or the nose. I was kind of disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's not that weird. I don't go to Rivertown for anything, so that must be why I like this, and you would prefer something a little sweeter like the Holly Kaliki, because I think that beer is personally, for me, a bit too sweet. It does have a great pineapple flavor, I'll give it that. They certainly hit the nail on the head with that one, but I think for me it's a little too sweet. I think that's what attracts me to this one. The pineapple is there, but it's not overpowering.
So yeah, I'm not finding it so much when I actually drink it, but the aftertaste is just like all pineapple, and it's all pineapple burps.
There is a pineapple taste on the aftertaste, but it's pretty subtle.
Yeah, I wonder.
Like if you know what to look for, it's there.
Yeah,
but it is certainly not pronounced on the taste.
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe if it'll open up a bit as it warms up.
How many times have we said that before on this show?
All the time.
All the time.
We say it all the time.
Eventually, we're gonna
Every episode.
Yeah.
52 times, maybe more.
Well, probably more because we did more than 52 beers.
Right.
So 156.
Yeah,
Give or take.
Give or take. A little bit. Yeah.
So with that in mind, it is time to move on to the craft beer industry with our news and notes. I'm going to start with a local one.
Yeah.
New brewery in Pittsburgh. How many times have we said that before?
New brewery alert.
Yeah.
160.
Oh boy.
This is one that's been in the works for quite a while now. They are on the cusp of opening up. Just saw that they have an open date set.
Okay.
Spring Hill Brewing.
Yeah.
They're in that weird area that's not quite the North Shore, not quite the North Hills.
Spring Hill,
Troy Hill, that area. Right. It's kind of in that weird no man's land that I never go to. But they are opening the second weekend of April.
Neat.
Yes.
Okay.
Their opening weekend is April 13th and April 14th. So to those that are in the Pittsburgh area, go check them out.
That's great to know, and it's funny you kind of refer to that area as no man's land because they are acquiring quite a few breweries in no man's land right now. There's 6 breweries up in the north side.
Well, that's probably
area-ish.
Yeah, that's probably why it was no man's land and why you can acquire property there.
Right. Nobody's gonna stop you.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I knew of Spring Hill for a while. I've been following them on Facebook. I didn't know about the opening. I'm super excited to hear that. But I'm trying to think if I've ever had a Spring Hill beer. Have they been to any beer fests? Have you guys tried their product?
I have not.
I cannot say that. And I think if I did say it, I'd probably just be confusing it with Spring House.
That's what I've done that
it's
multiple
not Spring
times.
House.
Yeah. I honestly don't think I've had a Spring Hill beer yet. So I'd be interested to see if maybe they show up at Beers of the Berg.
Right.
Or something like that.
Or we go check them out beforehand.
Yeah, or maybe we'll just find our way there.
Yeah, that's fine too. So yeah, that was just a quick hitter, just to let everybody know there is another new brewery coming to Pittsburgh.
Something on the way.
Yes, we hope they do well and hope to be there sooner rather than later.
Well, to tack on to that, if I could, for just 1 second, because also if you're up at Spring Hill checking them out, definitely head over to the War Streets Brewery, because although they were brewing War Streets beer in Beer's Pub, they have now officially opened the brewery tap room, which is a separate room off of the restaurant.
Okay, good.
And now they're serving primarily War Streets beer out of the tap room, so you can get 7 or 8 brews on tap, which you couldn't before at Beer's Pub. Janie and I went down there for dinner one night, and I think there was 1 War Streets brew on tap. So I think Jake was really ramping up his supply to open this tap room and come in with full force. So I haven't been to the tap room yet, but it's open now, and I'm anxious to check it out.
Nice.
Good. So another note. I don't know if this news is a note. This is kind of in that weird quasi area.
Yeah.
Founders is taking on the big boys.
Okay. How they doing that?
Founders is taking on your AB InBevs and your Miller Coolers. They're stepping into an arena that I'm pretty sure no other craft brewer has stepped into that wasn't already grandfathered in. What they are doing is they are going after the macro lagers.
Okay.
They are. They are one of the only craft beer breweries that will be offering a 24-pack of beer. They will be offering their solid gold lager in 24 packs starting this summer.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what's even more interesting, the suggested retail price is $18.99.
So it's a sub $20 24
So it's
pack.
less.
Wow.
It is less than $1 a can for Founders.
That's very interesting.
And that is without any sort of end of year discounts or anything like that.
Right.
Like you could buy that Memorial Day weekend.
MSRP is sub $20.
Wow, that's very interesting because if you went and bought a 24 pack of Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, I mean, you'd pay right around $19 for it.
And that's how they're obviously trying to compete. They're trying to get down to that price point.
So they are stepping into that arena.
I didn't know about that. That's very interesting.
Now, Adam and I actually had that beer, the Solid Gold.
Oh, really? You had it?
Yeah, we had it at our beer tasting group.
A little beer tasting.
A little
group.
beer tasting group.
Plug.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's definitely better than a macro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
No doubt about it.
Like, it's definitely better than a macro. So the fact that they can offer it at a similar price point should hopefully draw a lot of people in.
You know, that's interesting because when you think about like the macro lager level, initially you think the market's a bit oversaturated just because the quantity of like shitty macro beer that's out there. But at the same time, I mean, it's really only a couple key players like Coors, Miller, Bud.
There's
you
a
throw
new one.
Corona in there maybe, or Heineken or something like that. But Founders, wow, that is fantastic news. I'll be anxious to try that.
And the key word you just said was there's a lot of quantity. There's not a lot of quality.
Right, exactly.
And this
I mean,
Founders, I'll vouch for it. It's quality.
Yeah. So it'll be available in 6-packs, 12-packs, and 24-packs. There is a small caveat. Actually, there's a pretty big caveat on the 24-packs.
Yeah.
The 24-packs will only be available in Michigan, Indiana, and Wisconsin.
Well, okay, that's fine to start a rollout like that.
Right. I find it to be a test market.
You're right.
If you can't sell beer in Wisconsin
Or Michigan.
you're screwed to begin with.
Yeah. That's probably gonna be a really great tailgate beer for them though, because the other thing about that is it's only like 4.7%, I think.
Yeah.
So it is
an easy
completely
right on par.
Yeah, it's completely comparable, but it's better. It's just completely better.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it would be much worse.
Yeah.
Better for the same price. Easy decision.
Yeah.
Easy decision.
But see, what's really interesting about that is now, I mean, when you think about like a very blue collar drinker, right? I mean, they're going into a beer distributor or store, and they're going right to the Budweiser, right to the Miller. If they see the Founders there, same price, pretty much the same beer, higher quality. What would it take to get those folks to try that beer? Or who are they going after? Like, who's their market? I mean, what's their audience?
Well, I mean, I think the market is exactly what you're describing, the blue-collar drinker. I think the way to get them to buy it is, we've seen it time and again that every now and then you have a rep outside of the store or inside the store, depending on your state law.
Right.
But they just give samples out. And if you give a sample out of something and say, hey, drink this, and you go, oh, shit, that's better, and it's the same price,
Sold. Yeah.
hit the bricks, PBR.
Hold on now, PBR.
Well,
PBR is going to survive the test. It's
Well, yeah,
time.
PBR is going to survive because A, it's 30 racks, and B, it's cheaper at a 30 rack.
Right.
So.
Price prevails.
Yeah. So, but Bud Light can
Kick rocks.
right. Put an egg in the shoe and beat it.
So yeah, I think not only that, which we've said it 1,000 times. Well, I've said it. The gateway beers.
Yeah.
This is a classic gateway beer.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like you guys said, tailgating.
Yeah.
Not everybody is a big IPA fan, and I understand the All Day IPA by Founders is a pretty big hit at tailgates.
Yeah.
I get that, but not everybody wants to go that direction. So I think that's where this gold lager
on them.
is going to kind of step in as well.
Right.
So it's competitively priced, a good beer, a good brewery. They're going to dominate. That's all there is to it.
Because I find it to be such a good beer compared to macros. It only takes one person to show up with a 24 rack at a tailgate.
Yeah.
And then you infect everybody else by giving it out.
Yep. First hit's free.
Yeah, exactly. First hit's free, then go buy your own. But yeah, so I think that's a pretty good thing as far as Founders. I got one more news story, and I think Sam will enjoy.
Yeah, damn well better.
Is it about Pizza Boy?
No.
Well, they could be affected by it.
Pizza Boy could be affected by this, but so the Brewers Association has officially revised their style guidelines for 2018.
Okay.
Which includes the Great American Beer Fest of 2018.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the style guidelines are for affecting any kind of homebrew competition or just brew competition in general. So this is how they essentially created new categories this year.
Okay.
And they have 3 new categories, and they are the Juicy Hazy Pale Ale, the IPA, and the Juicy Hazy Double IPA.
Wow, good for them.
So they're finally recognizing the New England style as its own style.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like with the way that style has caught on, especially east of the Mississippi, I don't know if they couldn't put them in their own category. I mean, you got breweries dedicated to that style
right.
all over the place now,
right.
and that's what people really want to drink. So that's encouraging to hear. I like that they're branching out and recognizing new styles of beer, and really commending and giving credit to what some of these breweries are doing, whether you like the style or not. I mean, it's pretty great.
Well, not only that, but I think it also helps them because having to compare a New England style IPA versus a classic West Coast IPA.
True.
How can you compare the two?
Right. Exactly.
You really can't.
And that kind of goes into the definitions on the new style guideline, is that the way you compare them isn't fair, because the IPA general IBUs, like the official, whatever the number is, what it's supposed to be. Say if you're doing a regular American IPA, the IBUs are valued between 50 and 70. So that's within the style guideline. Mm-hmm. If you do a juicy or hazy one, it's the same number, between 50 or 70, but they have an expectation of the perceived IBUs to be lower.
Perceived IBUs.
Right. That's probably one of the biggest changes. Aside from the color and the haziness,
mm-hmm.
You're supposed to see that haziness now. That's expected if you're brewing that style. But if you're perceiving the IBUs, so you're perceiving a lower bitterness.
Gotcha.
That is now expected.
Nice.
So before, if you had like just a regular West Coast versus New England, and the West Coast was all hoppy and bitter, people may have chosen that over the New England style because they were expecting hoppy out of the West Coast.
Simply based on what the style guide dictates.
Right. They're expecting hoppy out of IPA. Mm-hmm. But you don't necessarily get that a lot of the time with the New England styles now.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the big difference between that.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see, in that festival, who is competing in that category. Mm-hmm. I mean, because you definitely have some big boys out on the East Coast. Your Treehouse, your Trillium, here in Pittsburgh, our Dancing Gnome. But you got to wonder, I mean, that style is primarily on the East Coast, but I know there's some West Coast breweries that are doing it as well. So I'm just kind of curious to see. A lot of those beers don't make their way over to Pittsburgh here, but I wonder who will compete and who will prevail.
Right.
Those are categories I'm going to be very intrigued in. Come, when's that festival? September, October-ish?
Fallish.
Yeah. Well, whenever it is, I'll be monitoring the winners closely to see who walks away with the medals in those categories. That's great.
Yeah.
So it's officially wide open since nobody's ever won it before.
Right.
So it's wide open.
I assume they're going to crown the first winners, later this year.
Right. I know who I'm pulling for.
Dancing Gnome, just local.
Yeah. Although, admittedly, Grist House.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Grist House has a couple too.
There's a couple breweries here in Pittsburgh I think can bring the ruckus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Almost every brewery has one now.
Yeah, every brewery has.
They're all doing it.
Right.
So we'll see who triumphs later this year, I guess.
True.
Yeah. A style that isn't part of a new category yet is the pineapple lager. They haven't made a category for that specifically.
What was this one called? The Verschnucker?
No, the Swingle.
The Swingle beer. Swingle beer. I apologize. It had nothing to do with being Verschnuckered.
No.
Well, eventually it would.
Yeah, eventually it does.
Pizza Boy, they could really have their own Great American Beer Fest just right in their brewery. Just serve their beers. I mean, they make every style imaginable, and you could just go in there and vote on which one you like the best.
Who has the best carrot cake beer? Oh, Pizza Boy does. So what did everybody think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first. It's a good beer. I mean, it's not anywhere close to my favorite Pizza Boy beer, but I mean, they make so many delicious IPAs that I don't know how something like this could even get into the running. However, like I said, for me, just finding a lager that would inspire me to buy an entire case of from the brewery, which for the brewery you can get a case of this for only $40, and they're pounder cans, so that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
get a case of this, and that's really saying something, because traditionally for me, lagers are hit it and forget it. You try it, but I can't remember if it's any good or if I had it, except that Mother lager. That one I will always remember as being one of the worst beers I've ever had. Worst lager ever. But to find one that I actually enjoy, and coming into springtime and summertime, this is a very nice, easy drinker that can really carry you through the hot months.
I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I don't think I would go as far to buy a whole case of this. I don't think I love it that much, but I do like it more than the majority of lagers I have. I think it's interesting because it does have that kind of straw pineapple color to it. It's not like your standard Yingling brown. But yeah, it has a good flavor to it. I like that it's a little less sweet than the Halakaliki from Rivertown. There's not too many other pineapple beers to compare it with to begin with. So
that's a big category.
I think it's the Halakaliki and then our very first homebrew,
right? Which we won't talk about that one.
That was trash. So, yeah, I do like this one. I wouldn't turn it down, I guess, but I don't think I'd buy a case of it.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. For me, I don't hate it. Mm-hmm. I don't hate it. I really like the nose on this one. I think that is honestly one of the best smelling beers I've had in a long time. Unfortunately, the taste does not follow up on that nose. It's not a bad beer by any stretch of the imagination in terms of taste. Just when you compare it to what the nose is and with the Halakahiki, I do think that if you're going to be a pineapple beer, it should be a rather sweet beer. Mm-hmm. This one has some sweetness to it, but it is not a sweet beer by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
I would like to see it a little bit sweeter, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't drink more of it. I like it. I don't love it.
Yeah. I'm wondering about the brew style, and I'm wondering if because it was lagered, if that maybe muted the pineapple flavor a little bit.
Just because it was fermented cooler?
Yeah, fermented cooler, and maybe because since it's fermented cooler, maybe the wort didn't break down the pineapple.
Maybe?
Or depending on when the pineapple went in, maybe it didn't go into the fermentation stage, but went into just the boil.
Maybe. If
it was in the boil, maybe it didn't impart as much flavor.
That's fair. Yeah, we have no idea what these recipes consist of.
Right.
So who knows how they're approaching it.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if that's the comparison. Maybe lager, whereas the Halakaliki is an ale. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's what kind of leads to one being sweeter and one being more muted.
Two approaches to the same problem. Mm-hmm. So they're both good beers. I just...
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Not hating, just saying.
All right, well, that's one beer down.
Okay, then.
Yes, it is.
New brew, new you, and we'll come back with segment 2 and another beer.
Check this out. There's a Seattle company called Brewer that enables discovery of new and exciting beers and breweries. Brewer gets the best independent beer from literally around the world. Denmark, New Zealand, Belgium, and of course everywhere in the US. The app is incredibly simple to use to get some ridiculously good beers delivered right to your door.
Welcome back, Hop Nation. We are here celebrating our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. We are deep into the new brew, new you theme, even though it's March and not the beginning of a calendar year. But for us, it doesn't matter because it's
our calendar year.
It's our calendar year, exactly. It's our fiscal year.
You're on our time now.
You're going nowhere.
The nice thing about our podcast is we don't even have to file taxes.
That's right.
So fiscal year, schmiscal year. As far as I'm concerned.
I might have to edit that out.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't make any money, so yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well, according to the man, we don't make any money.
Yeah. Well, no
we don't make any money. According to my wallet, we make no cash on this show.
According to the hours and hours I've spent editing this fucking show without seeing a goddamn dime.
It's a hobby.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yes. You don't get paid for hobbies. That's not how life works.
Hobby.
Find what your niche is. That leads to riches.
Okay.
That was a Hank Hillism.
Okay.
Let's,
bitches get...
Nope.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah?
And bitches.
And sometimes, yeah.
Shit. What's the next beer, Adam? What's your new brew, new you? This is going off the rails. I don't know what's gonna make it into the episode or not.
So this is a beer that I've actually had for a while, but for whatever reason I haven't drank it. But today is the day that I changed that.
Yeah, you got an excuse now. New brew, new you.
New brew, new you. It's kind of like that old treadmill that was sitting in the corner collecting dust. It's time to break it out again.
Okay.
This is actually another Pennsylvania brewery. This comes from Victory Brewing. This is their Sour Monkey.
Out of Downingtown, PA.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. This is their Sour Monkey.
2.5 hours outside of Enola, PA.
Man, is it really?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It might be.
Maybe.
I was gonna say it probably is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll say it's 2.25.
Okay, sure. Whatevs.
New speed limits on the turnpike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is their Sour Monkey. It's kind of their play on the Golden Monkey.
Yes.
Which is one of their flagships. I think it's one of their flagships.
That's a Belgian, yes?
Yes, it is. It is a Belgian, but this is obviously a sour.
A Belgian.
Yes.
Okay.
It's right in the name, Sour Monkey.
Right.
That'd be kind of shitty if they called it the Sour Monkey, and then it was a Pilsner.
Yeah, that would be a bummer.
Yeah. That would be just mean.
Yeah, it would just be a bummer.
Like yeah. This clocks in at 9.5% ABV.
Boji, boji.
So it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. 25 IBUs.
Okay.
So,
pretty standard for a Belgian. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not upset by that.
Little high for a sour, but yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I know several people that have had this beer and have recommended this beer,
Okay.
but I've never had it.
Okay.
Today we are changing that.
All right then.
New brew, new you. And by you I mean me. And by me I mean you.
I may have had this before. So whereas Sam's beer was new to both of us, your beer is just new to you.
So it's the exact opposite.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say this beer has been around for a while.
Oh, I know that it's been around for a while. I've just never had it.
And like he said, he's had it in his beer fridge for a while too.
Right.
I've got some beers like that in my beer fridge. Aging for years.
Cellaring things for no reason.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't like I was upset about this beer, like I accidentally picked it up or anything like that. I just, for whatever reason, it never got up to the plate.
Yeah, nobody left it's not like somebody left a Limerita in your fridge after a party.
No.
I mean, sour beers, though, unless you love the style, they're not ones that you just pick up on a whim and say, yeah, I want to drink this right now. You almost have to be in the mood.
Well, see, that's the thing. I enjoy sour beers.
Yeah.
And sat there that long? Was it hiding behind something real
No.
shitty? Was it hiding behind like a Coors Light or a Bud Light bottle or something?
I think what happened was there were other beers that were, how do I want to put this? Not rare, but more uncommon that I had in the beer fridge, and I wanted to try those first. And it just was always kind of second place.
Plus, I mean, to be fair,
Nice.
this, we're coming out of stout season.
Yes.
So this isn't a stout season beer.
It is not, by any stretch of the imagination.
This is a Belgian beer. This isn't, it's got a high ABV, so maybe it's something you drink around the holidays.
Right. But if I had the choice between this and a stout, I'm probably going for the stout if it's the middle of February.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So let's get back to this one. Let's get back to the Sour Monkey.
On the color, it is golden.
And clear as could be.
Yeah.
You can read posters on Adam's wall through this beer. That is just fascinating to me.
Fascinating.
Yeah, for being a Belgian, sometimes Belgians can be a little cloudy, a little hazy.
This is so clear.
Yeah, completely clear.
Head is pretty much non-existent on this one.
Yeah, it's
I'm not that surprised by it.
yeah, tight compact bubbles though.
Tight, compact,
Tight
bubbles.
compact.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
You can put anything on a t-shirt.
If you believe in yourself and you're willing to spend the money.
Yeah, that's the big part. Do you want to spend the money to put tight compact bubbles on a t-shirt?
I mean, if I can spend your money on it, I'm all
I
about
don't
it.
have any money, dude. I just got done bitching about how I don't get paid.
Smells like a sour.
Yeah, there's a lot of sour on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Smells real funky.
go ahead.
funky monkey.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna say it.
I was waiting for you to say it. I was waiting for it.
Well, Steve beat me to the punch, I guess.
You lollygagged.
You're lollygagging out of the dugout. You're lollygagging down the... Come on, Bull Durham? Nothing?
That's a little deep on the baseball pool.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, let's drink this beer. This is a good beer.
Yeah, it's very sour, quite tart. I love it. I've had this beer many times before, and it is one of my go-to sours. It's one that I've recommended to people in the past, and that I will continue to recommend to people in the future. It's one that's easily accessible. You can usually find it in a mix and match case, at a craft beer bar. You find it at a bottle shop. It's around, and it's damn tasty.
So the sheer fact that Steve is fairly apprehensive of drinking on this one means that it's hitting the mark.
It's okay.
Yep.
What do you mean it's okay?
You don't have to be nice about it.
I know. It's okay. I mean, it's better than a lot of sours that I've had.
Remember it. Say as I always say, for the style.
I don't want to steal your tagline. That's your catchphrase. That's not mine.
I'm leasing it to you for this episode only.
My catchphrase, well, I wouldn't spit it.
Well, I can appreciate the style, guys.
Well, then, you will never work for Dogfish Head.
Yeah, it's not a drain pour.
Better not be. This is Victory, man. They don't make a bad beer. Well, while we enjoy this beer, I should probably fill in the listeners as well as you guys what I've been up to for the past.
Yeah, because we don't know where you've been for the past
God
month.
knows how long. This is
you just disappeared.
Third episode in 2018 I've been on. So, unfortunately, I've had to spend quite a decent amount of time out in New Jersey for work. So anytime that I travel for work, I'm always looking in the evenings if I have some time to kill, or if I'm in a grocery store and I see a mix and match cooler of local brews. I'm always out and about trying to find some good craft beer in other parts of the country. And I have to say, New Jersey sucks.
Okay.
This is probably going to be the shortest segment ever, because I have searched high and low through the state of New Jersey, and I spent 3 weeks in North Jersey, 3 weeks in South Jersey, and just about every rickety podunk town in between, and I've found nothing.
Okay.
And I really wanted to find something, because I think about New Jersey and it's like getting up there towards New England in the hopes that they might have a good style or a good brewery here or there, and I really haven't found it.
Well, I mean, also you consider New Jersey is right in the middle, in between everything of Pennsylvania, which is now 2 years.
Go-to state for craft beer.
Exactly. 2 years running most volume of craft beer production. You have New York, which they have their good fair share of breweries. Right. From Buffalo to actually New York City.
Right.
Of good craft breweries.
And everything in between.
Yeah. And you have Delaware, which is right there as well, with Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would imagine maybe New Jersey could
There's got to be some bleed over. There has to be.
So here's the thing. I kind of say that in jest to be a little funny and to shit on New Jersey, because I really don't like that state. But here's the thing, and I apologize to all the listeners out there. There are some cool things in New Jersey.
Sam loves pumping his own gas.
It is pretty great.
Especially in the winter and the cold. God, I love it. Now, New Jersey does have that going for them, but their roundabouts and jug handles. Oh, God, don't even get me started on that. We'll save that for the Jug Handle podcast. But here's the thing about New Jersey. There are really what's interesting is there are really no noteworthy breweries coming out of New Jersey. So you have Flying Fish is probably the most noteworthy one. Outside of that, there's pretty much nothing. And I mean, Dogfish has a very big presence there.
Obviously.
Victory and Downingtown Yards from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bleed over into the state, but there's not any nationally or even regionally known brewery that's coming out of New Jersey. At least I couldn't find it.
I'll agree with you on Flying Fish, and I think that's the only one that really has penetration into our market.
Right. That's the only one I could ever think of that came from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And Flying Fish is not bad, but, it's just interesting. I found myself, gravitating towards some of the other beers that were maybe trickling down from New York or Massachusetts, a little bit more than the Jersey ones. But I did want to share a couple of things that I found in New Jersey. First and foremost, I went to 2 breweries while I was there, and there aren't a ton of breweries to go to, so I didn't have a lot of choice. But there was one that was called Cypress Brewery. And the weird thing about their breweries are they seem to be really hard to find. So this was back in an old office park. And I swear to God, when I got there, it looked like it had the front of like a dumpy Chinese restaurant. Like, you know how they have those long blinds that, you know, the little kids like to wave their hand in and watch them, you know, fly back and forth. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of ones like you have right there on your door.
On your patio door.
They had those and one of those big like neon generic open signs.
Okay.
And the only reason I found out about this brewery is I was staying at a hotel nearby, and they had a roasted carrot stout that I wanted to try.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So I go to the brewery, finally find it, walk into the brewery. There's nobody there. And when I say nobody, I mean I was the only one sitting at the bar. It was me and the bartender. Mm-hmm. And I sat down and I was chatting with the girl at the bar. And they actually turned out to be a really interesting place. Now the roasted carrot stout was interesting. You could taste the carrots in it, but it didn't have a huge flavor, let's say. It was decent enough. I think you might have liked it, Steve. Adam, I don't know if that would have been your cup of tea or not. They had a Christmas stout that was still on tap that was spiced with like nutmeg and vanilla bean, and
I can dig on that.
That was actually pretty good. But she was telling me like they do these can releases just like breweries out here, and like people are lined up around the buildings in the office park, and you know, the tap room maybe could have held 40 people.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was super, super small. But I don't know. It's one of the interesting things. Like there was nobody in the brewery, but you know, talking to the bartender a little bit and hearing some of the unique things that they did was kind of fascinating because I don't know. It reminded me of home, and this was a place out in where was it? New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay.
And you know, there's not a lot going on in New Brunswick, at least not that I found while I was out there for a couple days. But I found the brewery and tried a roasted carrot stout, and you know, chatted with the brew tender and got a little bit of history of Cyprus, and yeah, it was a pretty interesting time, I guess.
So there was one recommendation. Cyprus.
Yeah, kind of. Now the other place that I found when I went out there, that this place was actually really awesome, and this was by far the best beer I found in New Jersey. I went to a place called Glasstown, and this place was really hard to find too, and I had no idea where it was. But it was actually on it was on an old defense airfield from like the 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they used to fly like military planes, and it used to be pretty much an airfield base. Mm-hmm. And it's not used for that anymore. It's not military. It's not military, but it's still used to fly like private planes, so like little Cessnas and whatnot. But essentially, some of the buildings back there have been turned into a couple restaurants, and then there's this brewery, and it was actually built out of this old like sheet metal garage that was stored for that they were storing military vehicles in.
Right on.
And it was just the coolest place, but like really poorly signed, couldn't find the place, was driving around this airfield base, completely deserted. Once again, I you know, for how many people actually live in the state of New Jersey, clearly none of them go where I go.
I wonder if there's some like laws in New Jersey we don't know about that like makes and this wouldn't surprise me because New Jersey has a lot of stupid laws.
True.
But like it makes it hard to open a brewery to begin with, and B is like they have strict signing laws. Mm-hmm. You know, like you can't have certain signage within 500 feet of a highway or some stupid shit.
You can open a brewery, but you can't tell anybody about it.
Right.
Yeah, one of the interesting laws that I actually heard out there about opening a brewery, and I'm not sure if this was by county or for the entire state of New Jersey, but they said that they cannot serve you beer unless you can actually tour the facility.
Oh, okay.
At any point.
Boy.
So when I walked into Glasstown, when I finally found it, I walk in and I go up to the bar, and the bartender's like, all right, here's a list of the beers we have. And then she also handed me a map of the brewery. And she's like, you can feel free to go look around. She's like, but just be careful because they're still brewing back there. And man, you were in a garage, right? So it's like one bay is the brewery and the other bay is where all the brew tanks are. It's super small. So I took the map and I walked back there and I found some of the brewers just doing a little brewing and kind of cleaning up for the day. And so I chatted with them for a little bit, but it was interesting because I've never been given that option before. Like I've heard sometimes like, oh, if you want a tour, like we'll get somebody to give you a tour.
Yeah,
right.
You can just go explore on your own. But I think that was part of this strange rule that they have out there.
Yeah.
That they have to offer a tour, and that was their way to do it. It was through a self-guided map, right?
Do it your own damn self.
Yes. It's like, we're not gonna, dedicate the labor to giving you a tour, but if you have any questions, people are back there brewing.
It's like an art museum.
Yeah, it kinda
tour
is.
yourself, jerk off.
See, I like to think that they also had like the headphones you can rent for $5.99.
Right.
Yeah, no, none of that.
To your left, you'll see the bright tanks.
I think they were kind of doing this on the cheap, but
Yeah.
Anyhow, I like the brewery a lot, and my opinion might be a little jaded here because many of their beers, and primarily their IPA series, were all based off classic video games.
Okay, yeah.
So they had one called the Donkey Kong. It was a double IPA. They had the Donkey Junior, which was a session IPA. They had the Mosaic Man, which was a Mega Man beer that was solely hopped with Mosaic hops.
Right.
And they also had a Super C, which was a Citra hopped beer for Contra.
Right, yeah.
And it was the can art was absolutely fantastic. The beer was pretty damn good. Best beer for sure that I've had in New Jersey, and I just really liked the atmosphere. So this was in a place called Millville, New Jersey. It's maybe 40 minutes west of Atlantic City, more towards South Jersey.
Okay.
But if anybody ever finds themselves out in New Jersey and wants to go to a really cool spot, I'm telling you, like they had planes and like old military ambulances,
Yeah.
and different vehicles set up right outside the brewery that you can go look at, take pictures, see. So it's kind of like a historical. It has a historical feeling to it, and you can kind of do a little self-guided tour as well. A lot of self-guided things in New Jersey, but it was really neat. It was a real cool location, but hard as shit to find.
Was there any one specific beer that stuck out to you?
I'd say my favorite beer of the four that I had was the Donkey Kong, just because it was a double IPA and it was hopped so well. It was hoppy as hell. It was piney, but it also was a little citrusy. I don't think Adam would have really liked it, but I think Adam would have liked maybe the Mosaic Man a lot. I don't know if you're a Mosaic hop guy, but this one wasn't overpowering with hops, but it had some nice flavor to it.
You know what my favorite hop is. Everybody knows what my favorite
Nothing
hop
with
is.
Fuggle. I don't think any of their beers had Fuggle.
I don't know if I'd go then.
I don't know. Maybe some of them did. I don't know the hop profile of every beer they had. They probably had like 12 on tap.
One quick question. You said everything was named after like video games.
Not everything. Their IPA series was.
Okay, so most of everything, their IPA series was named after video games. When you commit so hard to that, though, did they have any old cabinets up or anything in there? Like, that seems like if you're going to do that.
Even an N64 in the corner?
Yeah.
I wish the answer was yes, but alas, there was nothing. No video games.
Yeah, it seems like if you're going to name things after video games, you might as well put in some arcade cabinets for people to play.
Of course, who knows? Maybe that's another one of those janky, New Jersey
Another
laws.
janky law, you can't have an arcade with beer.
Yeah, you can have beer, but you can't have fun with it.
It's okay. I'm okay blaming, the government.
Yeah.
I don't want to blame New Jersey people on this. I want to blame the government. Always blame the government.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I mean, nothing pairs, with a good IPA or craft beer at a brewery with a good game of Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. So
would agree.
Did you know? Here's a fun fact about Donkey Kong. So originally, the princess in Donkey Kong when it originally came out was just called Woman. Did you guys know that?
No.
I read that in a book. It was called the book was actually called Super Mario. It was called How Nintendo Conquered the World.
Oh.
So yeah.
Interesting.
And you know what Mario's name was?
Jumpman.
Yeah, but originally it was just Man.
Oh.
Then they changed it. It was Man and Woman and Donkey Kong.
Oh. Donkey Kong got the top billing because he's the lead character.
Right.
And did you know that on Donkey Kong, the last level, you play for about 10 seconds and then it just ends?
No.
Yeah, you can learn that from a fistful of quarters.
That is a fantastic movie. I
really
love
is.
that movie.
I thought I was going to hate it, but...
You can't stop watching it.
Yeah. Speaking of things I thought I was going to hate, but turned out I love, it's not the Sour Monkey, but...
You had me going for a second there.
I know, yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, what happened here?
I almost tricked you. No, sorry, I still don't love this.
So full disclosure, I pretty much knew you weren't going to like this beer that much. I knew it, and that comes down to the style, not the brewer.
Yep.
So I knew it. You know what? Screw you. I'm gonna drink it anyways.
Yeah, that's fine. You and Sam can enjoy it all you want.
And I did.
It's not for me.
That's okay.
It's better than some sours we've had. It's better than some sours I've had out in the wild.
Yes.
It's too much, and I think I like the Golden Monkey. That's the thing. I do really like the Golden Monkey, and I think it's just kind of a fucking with something that I like. Like you're making something I like worse.
Don't mess with it.
Yeah, don't futz with it.
All right. No, I enjoy it. I like this beer. First time I've had it, won't be the last.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's great. I like the Golden Monkey too. Mm-hmm. Both readily available here in Pittsburgh and in many places around Pennsylvania.
Victory makes a lot of good beers.
Oh yeah, Victory's super available in Pittsburgh, being that they have their little partnership with Southern Tier. Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously we're gonna get them.
Right. Yeah. Oh no, that's the worst.
Oh no.
So while Steve continues to not like sour beers,
as Steve continues to be a cranky Kong,
the lesser known game, we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
Maybe earn a little money.
Nope.
I hope so.
Maybe, but probably not. And we'll be right back with segment 3.
And more beer. New brew, new you. For our 1-year anniversary show, Steve has a beer for us. Now I could be mistaken on that, but let's turn it over to Esteban and see what he's got to say.
I wish I could just say, yeah, it is actually whiskey time, and
We can make it whiskey time.
we've given up. But no, I do have a beer for us. And in segment 1, Sam brought a beer that was new to me and Adam. And in segment 2, Adam brought a beer that was new to him. Segment 3, I'm bringing a beer that's new to all three of us.
So we have all the bases covered.
Yes, we have all the bases covered.
Fantastic.
You don't know that. Hold on a second.
Trust me, I know this. I know. I don't have to guess because I think I've only had one beer by this brewery beforehand. And I don't think you guys know where to get this until I told you earlier today.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. On all accounts.
But what we're drinking next is from the Imperial Brew Company, and they're out of Asheville, North Carolina.
Aha, okay.
Yes. And they have some of the best logo art I've ever seen. Their logo art all looks like Baroness album covers. And I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is the same artist. I didn't look into it, but it might be the same artist.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. What we're drinking today, though, is the Griddle Imperial Espresso Stout.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got some information on that thing?
I do. This is a 10%
Holy shit.
espresso stout. Yeah.
Holy shit, we're going high octane here.
Yeah.
Man, it really makes my 5.6 pale in comparison.
Looks like a bitch.
I'm going for the knockout punch to close out the year.
Jeez.
60 IBUs, and it's brewed with espresso from the Penny Cup Coffee Company, which is also out of Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, you know what? I really like that beer companies pair up with local coffee companies.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
And here's the thing. If they make a coffee beer that isn't so great, they can just blame it on the coffee company.
No, I'm really glad that a lot of beer companies are hooking up with coffee companies because that's mutually beneficial.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we see it right here in Pittsburgh with Black Forge and Full Pint.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that happens all over these great United States.
Commonplace Coffee in Pittsburgh does some, I know they do at least one beer with Allegheny City.
And Four Seasons did a brew not too long ago that we had on a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
I don't know who the brewery or who the roaster was, but I'm assuming it was also local.
We need to get like Harpoon or somebody doing a collaboration beer with Dunkin' Donuts. That's what I really want. You know, both out of Boston. Both putting out a very good beverage.
You know, somebody is doing a collabo with Dunkin' Donuts.
Really?
Yes, Sam. Dunkin' Donuts is actually paired up with a brewery out of Massachusetts called Wormtown.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, so you're not too far off. It has happened, but we just can't get it. It's a news story I did see though.
I got a trip to Boston planned in June.
Well, then...
So, you know what I'm going to be hunting down.
Dunky Doos.
So get some Dunky Doos.
Yeah.
But,
and Treehouse and Trillium.
Let's worry about the beer we
some other
have.
let's look at this burial beer first.
Whoa, we don't want to talk about Massachusetts anymore?
No.
I was getting so excited for this trip.
No.
So it was very interesting when you poured that beer out the first time.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of?
Syrup? Tar?
It actually reminded me of Cherry Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
Because it kind of had a
Syrup.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, that's a syrup.
It had obviously it had the look of a Dr. Pepper, but the head kind of just for whatever reason
It was very fizzle.
it was fizzle. Yeah, it dissipated very quickly, but it almost had like a pinkish hue to it,
Okay.
and then disappeared.
Yeah.
because when you poured it, that's Cherry Dr. Pepper.
That guy lied. That's Cherry Dr. Pepper. in a heavy metal can.
What is this chicanery?
Yeah. If you smell it, though, you smell it's definitely not Cherry Dr. Pepper.
Oh no, that's straight up coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even deny that.
It's got a wonderful nose. Wow.
That smells almost like Waffle House coffee. Like Waffle House Black.
Yeah, yeah. No, that smells really good.
And that's my brand, Waffle House Black.
69 cents a cup.
Exactly.
Unlimited.
Yeah, that's an interesting comparison. Because what'd you say this was? Penny Cup.
Penny Cup, yeah.
I'm sure their coffee is significantly better than the Waffle House.
Right.
But if you take just a standard black cup of Joe and you sniff that and then you sniff this beer, I wonder how truly different the nose would be.
I think the only difference you're going to find is that this is cold and, and that would be not.
Right. You can do cold brew coffee too, I guess.
Yeah.
That's great though. I mean, I could just sit here and smell this all day. This reminds me of the Sunny Side Up by Pizza Boy, also who does a collaboration with the Little Amps coffee shop. It's the same thing, just a big, robust, powerful nose.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what the taste is like.
I'm ready to go.
Yep, that's really good.
That's big.
Yep, that's a fantastic beer. Holy shit, that's good.
So I'll say this. The reason why I picked this one up was because the first beer I had by Burial was a farmhouse ale. And it was superb.
And that's saying something for a farmhouse.
And that's saying something for me saying a farmhouse is superb. Farmhouse and Saisons are probably my second least liked after sours. And holy hell, they knocked it out of the park. I think, Sam, if you could find more... Now, I obviously picked this one up because it was a stout. But, Sam, they actually do a lot of IPAs and a lot of double IPAs. So I think this is a brewery that is more geared towards your sensibilities. But I had to pick this one up because it's a stout, and I wanted to see what was up.
And I'm glad that you did.
I'm glad that I did, too.
Because this is this is a great beer.
Yeah, I definitely like this. I'm a big fan of coffee stouts. It's something that I frequent quite often, but this one here, it has an interesting creaminess to it.
There is
it's
lactose
incredibly.
in it.
Oh, it is.
Which makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. There is lactose.
Well, there we go. That explains it. That is all I needed to hear. Now it makes all the sense in the world. But yeah, I really like that creaminess, and it kind of tastes like I'm drinking a cup of coffee with some cream in it.
Great. Right. Yeah.
Great.
So they've really achieved that style. Now, what made you actually pick this up? Because we know.
Well, no, like I just said, I picked it up because I had.
Right. I guess I should back up. So originally you picked up a farmhouse style of ale by Burial.
Yeah.
Now, we all know that's not your style, and we all know. Well, we may not all know, but for the listeners out there, you picked this up at Vintage, right?
Yeah. I picked
this
up
a wonderful beer shop in Ohio. Plenty of breweries to choose from, plenty of beers.
In Boardman, Ohio, 10 minutes outside of Youngstown.
Very nice. Very nice.
So what made you flock to Burial beer?
So the reason why I picked up the farmhouse ale was because I just saw it in the store, and like I already mentioned, the artwork on these cans, it pretty much looks like a Baroness album cover. And the one on the farmhouse that I picked up that was called the Blade and Sheath looks exactly like Baroness's newest album, Purple.
Okay.
So I was like, I just kind of wanted to be thinking about possibly writing a feature for the website.
Okay. All right.
I was just like, does this pair with the Baroness album, Purple?
Did it?
Yeah, it does, because
All right.
and I mean, I eventually will write that article, but
Right.
that it was such a knockout beer. I was so surprised. I was like, this is a farmhouse ale, and it is killer.
What did they do?
Now, I will say, for one, that farmhouse ale is 6%, so it's not a screw around session ale, you know.
Right. You got to mean business on it.
Yeah, but it was so good. I was like, oh, I got to go back for more. And then the next time I was at Vintage, they had a stout. So
Nice.
obviously,
Nice.
this had to come next.
So let us sip on the burial beer. Let's do a retrospective as I go into my NPR voice. This is the point in time where you're supposed to add in music.
Sure, maybe.
It has been an entire fiscal year
Yeah.
for the Hop Nation USA podcast.
Yes.
52 episodes.
Glorious episodes.
Plus bonus content.
52 5-star episodes.
So far.
Yeah.
So far. So I just wanted to go back a little bit, talk a bit of a round table. We are sitting at a round table, so that seems apropos.
Oh.
To talk a little bit about what we've seen, what we've done, what we've enjoyed here in the last year since we've kicked off episode 1,
Yeah.
which was called something.
That was called Beer Breakfast at Tiffany's, where we reviewed beer breakfast beers.
That's right. And I think the first beer we actually had was the Founder's Breakfast Stout.
You got it.
So we've gone from there.
And also had the Sunny Side Up.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
In fact, we did a lot of coffee beers, so it's pretty apropos that we're drinking this burial espresso.
It is.
to close out the year.
So I
Sunny
wanted
Side
to.
Up was on episode 3
Was that 3?
because I brought it back from Pizza Boy when JD and I went.
Well, then no, it was episode 5 because 3 was the fish fry episode. Episode 5 was our Pizza Boy episode.
He's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was when we had the
Okay.
Sunny Side Up.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got all our shit straight
Okay
now.
then. All right. Let's try this.
Anyway, moving on with the retrospective.
But no, I wanted to talk.
That's part of the retrospective is trying to figure out what the hell we did.
52 episodes is a
What did we
lot.
drink on this show? God, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So that actually is one of the things I wanted to talk about was the beers that we've had in the last year. Not necessarily on the podcast, but just in general. Has there been any beer in general that has jumped out at you in the last year that has made you go, holy crap, I didn't expect that, or holy crap, this is really, really good, more so than I thought it would? Is there anything out there that you guys, that has jumped out at you that really just, got you by the short hairs?
Everything that jumps out at me, we've actually had on the show. And I've kind of found ways to sneak it on the show.
Like, this is good, you guys need to try this.
Right. I mean, for example, the Oak Age Vanilla Worldwide Stout, that's still probably my favorite beer of 2017-2018 series.
I like that. Season 1.
Season 1. Although, however, the Abjuration Belgian, that monster also kicks out there.
So for me, the beer that really jumped out at me the most was also something that we had on the podcast. It was actually the Siberian Highway by Grist House.
Yeah.
And
That was good.
See, not only that, but the other thing that it did for me is not only was it just a great beer, but it showed me that the breweries in Pittsburgh, they can go rounds with the big boys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And it was one of those things where I knew it, but I didn't know it.
Yeah, you hadn't had your proof yet, but that Siberian Highway by Grist House is absolutely proof that the Bourbon County and the KBS and CBS have challengers in new breweries.
Right here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And that was the proof in the pudding right there. That was the beer right there that made me say,
Yeah, that beer was like pudding.
It really was. That was the beer that made me say, no, Pittsburgh's got something going on. This isn't just, good beer.
Right.
I mean, this is good beer.
Yeah.
Sam?
I don't know. I don't even know what to call out right now on the show, to tell you the truth. But the one thing I do want to mention, maybe I'll take it in a little different direction, because this is something that I'm still fascinated to by this day. So when we first started the show, I used to shit all over Hitchhiker Brewing any chance that I got in Pittsburgh. And just this past Sunday, Janie and I went down there because they were having a new beer release. They were releasing something from their Hole Punch series, a blueberry pie IPA.
Oh, boy. I've heard that's a killer.
I heard that as well.
And it was fantastic. But the weird thing is, now I find myself going to Hitchhiker on a regular basis. I get their newsletter. I've bought their cans. I consider them now one of my top 5 breweries in Pittsburgh, where before they were just lingering around the bottom.
You are a convert. You are a fan now.
Right, exactly. I after we had Circoni on, it was interesting. I was down there not long after to buy Beers of the Berg tickets, and I was talking to Andy, who he mentioned on the show, the brewer, and a really cool dude. And I mentioned to him, I was like, look, I didn't say it as honestly as I've said it to you guys, but right. I was like, look, I just said your beers are just incredible now. Before they were good, but now they're really great. And he just said to me, he's like, well, you haven't seen anything yet. So, with that new brewery they opened up, and now they have their big barrel systems and canning lines and everything, and it's just I don't know, it's just fascinating to me how a brewery could go from one of my least favorite breweries pretty much overnight to, one of my favorite breweries in Pittsburgh. So that's what still kind of fascinates me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been a turnaround since, probably late October for you, because they started turning around for me when we had in that Brewing Up a Cure, and they had some beers on tap, and I was like, wow, this is Hitchhiker?
Who are these guys?
Okay, cool. Right. And then also in October is when they came out with that Marshmallow Count Chocula Stout. And I was
that was so good.
I was like, that's a crazy thing, and I hope I get it, and I didn't, but whatever.
Right.
But, we've also had that Cocachino. Yeah, so, they've definitely turned me around as well. So, yeah, I agree with that.
I was always on their side. I always liked their beer.
Whatever, kiss ass.
No, I did. Honestly, I think part of the reason was I really liked their first brewery. Mount Lebanon. I thought it was a really great little neighborhood place.
Oh, the brewery is amazing.
Yeah.
It's super fun, laid back, great patio, great atmosphere.
Yeah, the location's killer. It's just, it's now that the beer is more of a draw than the location.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They're coming at you from multiple angles now.
Yeah, and I think that's great.
So now it's time to turn inward a little bit.
Yeah.
We got to talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pat ourselves on the back.
Because I love me some me. So, was there an episode or a segment or anything like that you guys really enjoyed throughout the last year, these last 52 plus episodes, 52 canon?
Sam, do you have something on deck? Do you want to go first on this one?
Well, I mean, honestly, any time that we can drink Pizza Boy beer is going to be one of my favorite times on the show, because I love that brewery. I love the beer. This is going to sound kind of strange, but I'm going to really go back in the archives for this one. One of my favorite things that we did within the first year was we went and saw the new Fast and the Furious movie and reviewed it on the show. I mean, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard on this podcast. We were just talking about
such an awful movie,
the monstrosity, the amazingness that was that film.
So
ridiculously over the top. It was so much fun to just see that together and then review it on the show. And we did the one segment for the actual show, and then we did the bonus episode. Right. Mm-hmm. But man, was that great. We should find another movie.
Well, here's my suggestion, as it's going to be coming up pretty quick, and it's actually going to be within the same range of the time that we did the Fast and the Furious episode. Infinity War.
Okay, that's not the direction I thought you were going.
What was the one because I did actually have two in mind.
Oh, the other one was Super Troopers 2.
That was the other one that I had in mind.
Yeah. Good.
If you guys have interest in doing Infinity War or Super Troopers 2, I would be down for that. And
Why not both? Double feature.
Yeah, I think we can put some content to that.
I'm good with that.
I know Marvel's going to put out a good film with Infinity War.
They have to.
But there's still such the opportunity for it to be a complete clusterfuck of 18 characters.
Right.
I mean, granted,
more than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's 18 main characters that they're kind of promoting.
Mains.
Yeah,
so you're not counting all the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Not really. No, yeah,
just Peter Quill.
Yeah, they have posters for the 18 main characters they're pushing in this film. So yeah.
Yeah, that movie's going to be ridiculous.
So Steve, is there any episode or segment that really jumped out at you?
I mean, I really like all the interview episodes we do. I think it's really great anytime a brewery invites us into their home and lets us poke around.
and not even just breweries, but also other characters in the craft beer industry here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, anybody who's part of this community out here who's willing to sit down and talk with us, that's always great.
Right.
Of course, obviously, I think my favorite would be that is Abjuration again. Adam?
So I'm going to go with one particular segment.
Yeah.
And I have 3 words for you. Vitch's Vest.
Vitch's Vest?
Vitch's Vest.
Vitch's Vest is probably the best segment we've ever done. I will have to replace the co-host to do it. If we want to do Vitch's Vest this year.
I don't care. You can do it again. It was fun.
I'm just saying, if we want to do it this year, we're going to have a guest.
Okay, I'm all right with that. And just a little allusion to what is coming up in the future. We got more guests coming.
Yeah, we have more guests, probably next week even.
Yeah. New guests, returning guests.
Yeah.
Actually,
Maybe
those are the only two
hurricanes.
options.
We're
A few hurricanes, some malt liquor.
We could probably. I mean, you have to show up for episodes so we can do the hurricane challenge.
Right.
We can't do that without you.
Hurricane heist.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Maybe
that
you
should
could
probably
review.
happen sooner rather than later because I don't like having hurricane in my fridge.
I have all the hurricane in my house.
All of it?
Yeah, I think Adam actually has a couple too. Somehow some found their way here.
Well,
They followed me.
all of them could find their way here.
Like it.
I'm gonna bring the rest of the hurricane, and it's all gonna be left here.
Gross.
But not in just one box. I'm gonna hide them randomly throughout your house all night in
The
Kansas.
shittiest Easter egg hunt ever.
Yeah, so you're just gonna randomly stumble upon them each and every day. It's gonna be great.
So I got one more.
Okay.
And this is a very open-ended.
Okay.
Anything that has happened in the craft beer industry as a whole within the last year, is there anything that has excited you, has jumped out at you, has made you say, nice?
Yeah, I got one.
Go for it.
Just the change in laws in PA that now we can buy singles.
I know.
That's
I
awesome.
know, that's amazing.
I know.
For anybody who doesn't know, and anybody who kind of lives in the area of JR's Beer Warehouse, they now have a mix and match sixer area that's full of prairie and Dogfish Head.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh yeah, don't go there.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Screw off.
It's like $38 a can.
Yeah, but no, seriously, it's probably the best mix and match sixer I found outside of vintage.
Nice. So, Sam, anything in the world of craft beer that has jumped out at you? Doesn't have to be a particular beer, doesn't have to be a particular brewery, doesn't have to be a particular podcast, such as a 5-star podcast.
I don't know if I want to keep the Pittsburgh connection here and only focus on what we're getting.
No, you don't have to. No, go
But
big. You have a
maybe I
global span.
Maybe I kind of do, though, because I was incredibly happy that Founders decided to bottle CBS this year. And it hasn't come to Pittsburgh in 6 years, and, we got our first batch. So that was incredibly exciting.
It was, and I still
Because I feel like I've been on the wait list for 6 years for that friggin' thing, and then I finally got to get a bottle this time.
I have a bottle saved, and I know exactly when I'm going to use it. I'm not going to tell you when.
All right.
Because I don't want either of you there to horn in on it.
That's fine. I wasn't impressed with it, so
No.
no.
Hot take.
I might have drank mine too early, but
All right, whatever.
Mine is still aging in my basement. I say this knowing that I haven't even drank it yet.
here's my contention with that. I say I drank it too early, but I think that's BS. You should be able to drink a beer at any time, and it should be fantastic. I shouldn't have to cellar a beer for
If
it
it's
to,
That is
released to the
true.
public,
Yeah.
it should be ready to go.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like it was ready to go when I drank it.
I completely agree.
In addition to the CVS, I will say one of the things that I'm most excited for is truly the New England style IPA, just dominating craft beer right now. It is so popular, and there have been a couple beer fests around Pittsburgh, and I know that they're up and down the East Coast as well. Juicy beer fests, IPA beer fests, hazy beer fests, whatever you want to call them. There are beer fests now literally dedicated to this style of beer, where that's all they serve. They've had Juicy Brews, a beer fest, twice now. It's 2 years old in Pittsburgh that solely focuses on this style. And what's really cool about it is they're bringing breweries from out of town that you can't get here. So, they had The Alchemist here. And they were down in the Ace Hotel for the Juicy Brews Fest. I think it was last weekend. And I mean, you can't buy Alchemist beer here, and that's one of the biggest, most popular New England breweries out there, right? They make Heady Topper, and they're out of Vermont, so you can't get that here. But now they will come to Pittsburgh for a beer fest because they know that style is so popular here. So I am very excited to see what different breweries are going to do with that style. And, I think with Dancing Gnome here in Pittsburgh and some of the other big players, in that style, the bar is set incredibly high. But the nice thing about craft brewing is that people are always going to reach for that bar and try to surpass it. So It's not like somebody's going to say, well, screw that, I'm just going to go work on another style that, somebody else hasn't really perfected yet. But, it's great to see just the different variations of those styles. And I mean, for me, that's huge because that's I mean, at least right now, my favorite style of beer. So I'm very excited to see that prominence in the craft beer industry.
So for me, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm excited for. That's what I'm excited about. Just the innovation that has been happening in craft beer in the last year.
So you're excited for what's next?
I'm excited for what's next. The blending of styles, the experimentation, the callback to all the ancient recipes, brew styles, things like that. All that stuff is what's old is new again.
Right.
And it's exciting. I mean,
we've seen the resurrection of the Goza pretty
Correct.
much come into style within the past couple years.
correct.
Yeah.
If somebody tried to hand me a beer called a Goza 5 years ago, I'd have called you crazy.
It's like, what is that?
Yeah, what is this? Why are you doing this to me?
Goes away. Take it away from me.
You wouldn't even say Goza, you'd say ghost.
Ghost away.
away.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's funny.
So it's fantastic that craft beer is up, thriving, innovating, trying new things, blending, originating, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. As long as it doesn't have anything to do with IPAs, because they're all terrible.
Okay.
And everybody stop listening.
And on that note, let's get back to this bomb-ass stout.
Wait. Okay. In regards to the first question that you asked me, I just remembered the beer that I really, really enjoyed and I haven't seen since we tried it on this show.
Okay.
The Strawberry Bonnet.
Fair enough, yeah.
by
Chubby
Terrapin.
Rock,
From
yeah,
Terrapin.
Terrapin Chubby
That chocolate marshmallow stout that we
Yeah.
had.
That's a really good beer.
That beer was so good. I love the toastiness.
And I don't know that we'll ever see it again because that was one of their homebrew competition.
Yeah. Oh, that bottle was so great. I have that bottle at my house.
It's a good bottle to keep it.
I know, but there's no beer left.
See if you
just air.
see if you can trade it in for another one.
I traded for a full one any
Sneak
day
it
of the
past
week.
them.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this one right now.
Yeah.
This is the Burial beer.
Yeah, the Burial Griddle.
The Griddle is an Imperial Espresso stout. Why am I talking?
I don't know. You picked it up.
It's your beer. You talk
Picked up
about
the
it.
can, you jerk off.
Well, there is that.
Yeah, it's the Burial beer out of Asheville, North Carolina. And it's the 10% Imperial Espresso Stout.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of this beer. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. That's all there is to it. I don't need to use more words. It's great.
Sam?
Yeah, this beer is a great example of why you should all have friends who like heavy metal music. Because I know I, for one, having never heard of Burial Brewing, and this can art is unique to me, but it would probably scare me away if I was in a a 6-pack shop, because it's just so weird. But yeah, I mean the beer itself is great. I mean it's got a great coffee nose. It's creamy. It's delicious. I love it. But if I was in vintage, I wouldn't have bought this. So now the next time I'm actually in that store, I'll seek out some burial beers, and especially because I know they now have some IPAs, and
they have a lot of IPAs.
And if you like a farmhouse saison, imagine what the hell I'm gonna think about these IPAs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the hoppiest motherfucker they have.
they're now 2 for $2, and like I said, they're actually pretty IPA heavy. Mm-hmm. I think they only have 2 stouts.
Okay.
This is one, and another is called the Skillet.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think
Isn't Skillet a heavy metal band?
Skillet is a Christian metal band.
Yeah, they had that one song.
Oh, still a metal band.
So yeah, I mean, well, that's like a kind of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a bronze or a brass where it's like soft metal.
Soft metal.
Well, it's metal nonetheless. So
Yeah.
I don't listen to it. Apparently, there's a beer named after that.
Aluminum?
I think this is more kitchen illusion. Griddle and skillet. That's all kitchen illusion.
So maybe these guys are just big fans of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right. Or breakfast.
Or
One of
Sir
the two.
Latab.
You know what? If they keep making beers like this, they can be a fan of whatever they damn well please, as long as
Absolutely.
it's legal.
And it's kind of funny because it's only the stouts that have those names. Like everything else has like metal fucking names.
Nice.
Like I said, the farmhouse ale was called Blade and Sheath. I was like, yeah, Blade and Sheath.
Drink the shit out of it.
Yeah. And it's like, so yeah, like Sam said, the can art may scare you away, but so far they produced some of the best beers that I've come across. And that's kind of cool.
So with that, I think it's time that we go to the podium. Mm-hmm. It's time to put our beers on the podium, what we consider the bronze, the silver, the gold medal winners. Sam, I will start with you.
All right. So this is a very hard podium for me because all three of these beers were just drastically different. All very good for their styles, in my opinion. So if I have to rank them, and this pains me to say this, because the only time I've ever put a Pizza Boy in third place was when we were doing an all Pizza Boy episode.
Oh no.
But I am going to go with the Swingle beer. And even though that I brought that one and I've had it and I really enjoy it, it's a great drinkable lager and one of the few lagers I can actually say that I thoroughly enjoy and would actually purchase at a bar or at a six-pack shop and take home and enjoy. I'm going to have to put it in third just because with the other two beers, it paled a little bit in comparison. This is tough. This is tough for me because I really do like the Sour Monkey. Shit. I'm putting the Burial in second place. It's great. It's such a good coffee stout. It's creamy and delicious. I love the fact that it's a 10% ABV, but it tastes like it's about a 2% ABV. I mean, it's got a ton of flavor and it's not boozy. Very, very well balanced. First place, I got to go with the Victory Sour Monkey. Although that's a more common sour and one that's readily available, it's just so good. It's so bitter and it's so sour, and it really does make you truly pucker your lips, which I think the flavor in that is that's exactly what what a good sour should make you do. The sourer, the better for me, and that's what I enjoy about it. So I'm gonna give the trophy, the gold medal, to the Victory Sour Monkey. But all three of these beers just fantastic today.
So, I guess the one thing you can take away from that, Sam, is that even though you put a Pizza Boy in bronze, it wasn't an IPA. So
that is true.
So there's your caveat. There's your, that's what you can take home with yourself right. And feel a little better.
That's your out.
Yeah. For me, I'm not going to put a Pizza Boy in bronze because I'm going to put that Sour Monkey in bronze.
To the surprise of no one.
To the surprise of no one. You said the sourer the better, the sourer the worse for me. That is, like I said, that I just think it's screwing up a good thing, which is a Gold Monkey. I absolutely like the Gold Monkey. Love it. Love Belgian beers. Do not love sour beers. Don't have to say much more than beyond that. Silver, I'm going to give to the Pizza Boy. Pineapple Lager, the Swingle. That is, like Sam said, better than most lagers you'll find out there. And being that it's one of very few pineapple beers in the world, I think it's also very good for that. It has a good aftertaste, but the flavor isn't quite great up front. They're not to say that it's not great. It's not prevalent. Mm-hmm. The pineapple isn't prevalent.
Right.
But there's no way it beats the Burial. This is a killer beer. It's a killer stout. It's amazing how well they get that dark roastiness of a black cup of coffee, but also make it creamy with the addition of lactose to it. It seems much more like on the mouthfeel like a cappuccino or a frappuccino, kind of like that. But no, it's still black and it's dark and it's heavy because it's metal. Adam?
Oh, it's my turn.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. It's been 52 episodes.
Yeah.
And we're still not going to agree.
Yeah. No, of course not. That's the point.
Right. Exactly. So we have 3 beers, 3 hosts, 3 different outcomes. For me, in the bronze medal, I've got to go with the Pizza Boy Swingle. And it is not because of the nose. The nose that is on it is actually pretty fantastic. I really like the smell of it. It's kind of got that candied pineapple smell to it. I really, really like that. Unfortunately, the taste did not match up with the smell, mm-hmm. or the nose, if you will. And it didn't necessarily rise to the occasion the way that the Hanakahiki did. That one was kind of the gold standard. That because it's pretty much one of the only other pineapple beers that people have. So
that's the one you know. That's the one you started on. That's your gold standard.
Exactly. So that's the one that I compare everyone else to, for better or worse. And on the taste, it didn't exactly match up to what my expectations were compared to the Halakahiki. On the nose, blew it out of the water. Fantastic. Yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough to rise above.
Right.
Still not a bad beer. There wasn't a bad one in the bunch.
No.
But somebody's got to come in third. Pizza Boy's coming in third. In the silver medal position, the Sour Monkey by Victory's got to go there. Mm-hmm. Good beer. I like a good sour. That delivers. No doubt about that. They called it out right in the name. And yeah, they delivered. Unfortunately for them, and we've said it before on this show, every once in a while you just come up against Goliath. And that's what this burial was. This burial griddle was just so good. The nose was black coffee, was fantastic. The mouthfeel was great. The taste was great. There wasn't anything bad about it. And it was just, everything just worked in concert with each other to just make a great beer. I am willing to say that this is I'd say of the 150 plus beers that we've had on this show, I'm easily willing to put this in the top 10.
It's up there.
Easily.
It's up there
in the top
me.
10.
Yeah.
And that's up there too.
Chubby Bunny's probably like 7. This might be 10,
Right. Once you get up in the top 10, there's no losers.
Right.
Once you get up there, I mean, you're aces all the way. But this is just a great beer. If I could find it, or if anybody else finds it, buy it for me.
Or if Burial would like to send us.
Or if they want to send us some, hint, hint, hint.
We'll gladly do a Burial episode.
All expense paid trip to Asheville, please.
That would be pretty tits.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, not that Burial is anything to sneeze at, but there's a lot of breweries down in Asheville.
Oh, yes.
Beercation.
That's a
beercation.
Beer mecca.
Yes. Yeah.
None of those beers you pretty much get up here.
Right.
The Pittsburgh of the South.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Burial, if you're listening to this episode, because we're going to tag you in it, we will bring you a nice variety of Pittsburgh beers when we come down to visit.
Yeah.
We like Hilton Hotels or Marriott's.
Possibly a mountain cottage.
Or air mattresses in the brewery.
That's fine too. Just don't turn off the taps.
I'll lie down next to an ice machine in a Motel 6.
You've done it before.
Yeah, well, hey.
Who hasn't been there? So I think that pretty much wraps it up. Before we get into our plugs, I did want to thank everybody that has listened to, I don't care if it's one episode, every episode, or any combination thereof. I want to thank everybody that has helped us grow the show. I want to thank everybody that has been on the show, everybody that has given us suggestions, everybody in the podcast community that has helped us out, given us tips, given us pointers. Everything like that has helped this show grow. Yeah, we're 3 idiots from Pittsburgh drinking beer. But now we're 3 idiots from Pittsburgh drinking beer that have been doing it for a year.
I've been drinking beer for longer than a year.
But not in front of a microphone.
Not on a microphone.
That's the key. That's the key. So I think I speak for all 3 of us when I say thank you. You've helped us become the show that we are now, and you will help us to become the show that we will be. Because we're not done yet.
I, for one, would like to echo that sentiment. That was very, very well said, Adam. I enjoyed the 15 episodes I was on this past year. No, I mean it's been great. It's fun. I mean, what's not to like about drinking beer with your friends and talking about it and edutaining people like we do. So keep listening. Tell your friends. If you want to reach out to us,
please tell your friends. Obviously, that's the best way to grow is word of mouth.
Yeah.
And as both of you guys have already mentioned, thanks to everybody who listens. Thanks to everybody who supports us. Thanks to people who tell other people about the show and spread the word. And especially thanks to all the breweries and everybody, all the guests and everybody else in the community of craft beer in Pittsburgh that have kind of just reached out to us or have invited us into their home and become part of Hop Nation USA.
Yeah.
Haha.
Yeah. You got it on the ground floor.
Yeah. With that, if you want to know how to get in touch with us and be a part of Hop Nation USA, then you can search at Hop Nation USA on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you'll find our social media communities there. Or if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the podcast every Friday, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA on Stitcher, Podbean, Google Music Play, and iTunes. And if you're on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, because that's another way to grow the show.
Well, that's because we are, in fact, a 5-star show.
Indeed we are, Adam. And if you want to send us emails about why beer in New Jersey is actually better than we think it is, or if you want to be a guest on the Hop Nation USA podcast, if you want to invite us to your brewery, Imperial.
Yeah, hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Old buddy, old pal.
Old buddy, old pal. Even though I've only drank 2 beers by you, old buddy, old pal.
That's good enough.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions for other beers that we should have, if you want to have any kind of input into the show, email us at hopnationusa@gmail.com. That's all I got.
All right, chubby buddies, that about does it for episode 52. You know what? I guess next week we'll be back with episode 53. We'll just keep steamrolling right into year number 2.
Year 2 starts next week.
Stay tuned, everybody. We'll see you then.